Hey, Nicole. We are back.
Hey,
Welcome back. Another
welcome
episode
back.
of Movies That Move.
Movies that
How are
move. I am fine, but don't ask me what if my hair is fine because it is not. I
you?
I am glad. I am glad that I am I'm an ambassador for a cosmetic line and not a hairline because yo, it's like my hair is disrespectful. But
Oh,
outside that, it's been a grand day.
we putting a call out to Share Dazzle Salon. Share
Yes.
Dazzle, Share Dazzle. She needs you. She
I
needs
have an
you.
appointment. I have an appointment on the 7th. I am natural people. So for those of you all that know the natural hair struggle, and then my hair is natural and it's super long. There's a lot to it. Nikki and I both had long hair. So when it rebels on a major level.
Well,
So
I
definitely
cut mine.
you did cut it.
I
Oh
did.
wow.
I did. And yeah, so now I got a little dare tail. But yeah, mine needs tending to as well. If I was in your neighborhood, we'd be doing a girls' trip. And yeah, yeah. And I only put on half a face today, so I probably need the assistance of Color You.
Color You Cosmetics. Yes, I am the brand ambassador for that. And Color You Cosmetics is located in Norfolk, Virginia, as well as Lithonia, Georgia, and the mall there. And Color You has a line of products and also has a school. So if you want to become an MUA, you can do that. They'll be having online classes soon. So definitely check out Color You Cosmetics on social media if you want some more information about it. Definitely get with me on that. And I'm wearing their products right now.
Now, do they have online classes for the helpless individual like myself? Because I only got half a face on today. Look, I
Oh
only
yeah,
got half a face on most of the time.
that's what they're working on is being able to get that information out because you can YouTube different tutorials or whatever, but one thing I like about them is the in-depthness and the fact that their products as well as the teaching go hand in hand. So I'm a product of that, so I'm just grateful. Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to give a shout out to.
Irby Entertainment. I'm not wearing Irby's hat today, but Irby Entertainment is an international DJing company. As well as I'm a co-owner of that, as well as an apparel company. So look forward to seeing more apparel from Irby. But of course, I'm rocking my hat with my brand because of my book I Affirm today. So shout out to all of our sponsors today, which would be Sheer Dazzle Salon, which is located in Chesapeake, Virginia. Urban Entertainment, which is international, and of course, Color You Cosmetics, which is out of North Virginia and Lithonia, Georgia.
And speaking of music, we're going to give a quick shout out to Robert Rice,
Or Rice.
smoothology.net. That's the music you heard in the opening credits. So
Right.
let's get down to business. Today we are talking about Black
Black Box.
and I think this came out like November of last year. Sci-fi. I guess you could say this kind of falls into the speculative realm a little
Yeah.
bit. But we see Phylicia Rashad. She still plays a mother. She does momming good,
What kind of mother did she play? This is
but
she.
she did what?
Well, my thing is, for those of you that have not seen a movie, I just need you all to get over the fact that she is no longer Claire Huxtable.
No, no,
That's
she's
why I
not.
kept telling myself, I was like, this is Claire, this is Claire, this is not what Claire would do. This is not what Claire would do. She really sharpened her acting chops on this one. You know, I've always admired her as an actress, but
Hmm.
because this is such a departure from what she did, what it was it for Color Girls and some,
Hmm.
she's also then Raising in the Sun, and she's played that mother like role or whatever, or she's also like an actress out of David Meets Man or Makes Man, David Makes Man.
Hmm.
So when you think about her having that educational type of edge or motherly type of edge, it's a little different. This movie she's still highly intelligent, but yet, yeah, she took us
She's,
there.
like you said, she's still a professional. She's still even very nurturing, all motherly, but spoiler alert, she's the villain.
She is.
She's the
She
villain.
is.
So just kind of walk in, prepare yourself for that aspect of it. And she's not like the level villain. It comes on suddenly.
Yeah. It's the
Right.
it's the it's the psyche type of villain thing. But
Exactly.
even as a mother,
Hmm.
the nurturing component, she kind of waned away from that when she got into telling him, you're going to end up like your father. So then the manipulation came out. So yeah, she was nurturing to a certain point, but when it came to the level of control that she wanted to have over him, and it seemed like he always bucked that. That was the issue. And we're going to get to how it kind of ended, but yeah,
It
Phylicia
kind of
Rashad
that kind of took me back to our baby boy discussion a little bit, and how
coming of age.
mothers deal with their sons. It that moment, where she interacts with him, was like, mm, we see what went down there. But yeah, the entire concept of, and we've seen this in a few other sci-fi. If you watched, what was it? If you ever watched the television series 100, the 100,
Mhm.
they kind of touch on this about downloading the memories and the consciousness onto a chip and transferring it from one person to another. So there's this element in the story.
Well, one thing we kind of have to touch on is that if you are a person of science and you're into quantum leaps, you're into parallel universes, you're into the whole what if, kind of mindset, the thing that if you believe that life in itself is energy,
Mhm.
so it can be controlled or restrained or manipulated in some form or fashion. If you're of that mindset, this is a movie for you.
Mhm.
Um, if that's something you kind of struggle with, you may want to shy away from it, that type of thing.
Right.
Because that's what this movie kind of touched on is what if when people die, they don't really die. Now, depending on your faith, we all know that we live again. If that's, but it's like,
Right.
but the how, you know,
Right.
this kind of touched on the fact that these people didn't go to heaven nor hell. They could just go in a different place and continue to live out their existence in another form or reality, including this one.
Mhm.
So that,
Consciousness lives on. Yeah.
yes, it lives on. So
Mhm.
it was something to behold.
And it was interesting how they went about illustrating that she was able to locate the consciousness, speak to it, and say, okay, create your space. Create your space, and you go to that space. So the consciousness, wherever it was, could create a room and hang out there, or it could
Yeah,
just exist in darkness. So it was kind of interesting how they created that. Um, the line that she said. So the main character's name is Nolan, and he was in a car accident with his wife, which is where the story kind of opens, with him kind of recovering from this car accident and taking care of his daughter. And his daughter is highly intelligent, and is really taking care of him. She's taken on kind of motherly slash wife role. Like, okay, dad, did you pay the bills? Do you know what you're going to say when you go back in for this job? You need to tell them this and you need to tell them that. You need to do this. And it's like, girl, you are 9 years old. What do you know about going for a job interview? But she's directing him, down to, all right, this is the address on the GPS. We got 9 minutes to get me to school, and we got to
Yeah,
do
12 minutes. She was counting them down. She was
early.
very meticulous. Yeah.
And he was allowing it. He was willing
He
to
didn't have a
take
choice. He survived off of that.
right.
If she had not been there,
Hmm.
and I kind of want to touch on really quickly a part of the movie is like this one scene where he was in a hospital and there was a gentleman that was on crutches, and the gentleman's wife was kind of helping him along, and the look he had on his face is like, I need that. Like that he wanted that, or like he's had that before but he doesn't have that now, and here he is kind of sitting there trying to figure out his whole life, and the person that is meant to guide him, which would be his wife, is deceased,
Right.
and the
Right.
other person that's meant to guide him is his daughter who's at school. So it's like I'm sitting here just kind of hoping that that everything will work out for me because I don't have that guidance. I just have myself. And I
Right.
just I just felt the vulnerability in that scene
Hmm.
watching that.
He's like, I don't have that adult counterpart.
I don't.
Yeah. So, um, that was kind of an interesting dynamic that she had to grow up. And I just kept looking at her hair. It's like he was making every effort. He had his hand bandaged because he wasn't altogether there. He was having momentary outburst because there was another consciousness, spoiler alert, sorry, there was another consciousness trying to break out, and he hurt his hand. So he has this bandage on. His daughter's trying to guide him. His brain is foggy. He's trying to figure out how to pay bills and everything else. And then he meets this doctor who
Brooks.
promises that Brooks that she can set everything right. And when he goes back into his mind, she says, "Remember, I run my mind, it does not run me. You just go in there and you tell your brain when it's fighting you for these memories. I run my mind, it does not run me." And it's like, wow, that's a really good mantra. And at the same time, it was doing absolutely nothing because he got his ass handed to him inside his head.
It wasn't doing anything to him because the thing is that it wasn't about you fighting memories. You're fighting another level of consciousness. I'm fighting a whole nother person inside of myself, inside of my
Mhm.
head. So, when you think about at first, it feels like a dream sequence. So anybody that watches this movie, at first you're like, okay, it's like a bad dream that you have to wake up out of, and you have to recognize that it's not going to hurt you because it's a dream. But
Right.
then as you get further on in the movie, you're like, wait a minute, this is not a dream. This is real. This other thing exists. So if I don't fight it, if I don't win, I lose.
Mhm. Yeah.
I lose myself. I lose my holding on where I am in the universe, where I am, when it comes to living. So yeah, that's the part I had to kind of get myself to, because at first I'm still like, oh, this is just a dream. But I'm gonna tell you a thing that kind of blew my mind is that it really touched on the nature of dreams when it came to how ambiguous people's faces are. How many times have you had a dream and you could not make out the person's face, but you knew their essence? That was the part that was blowing my mind, because I'm like, why can't he see their faces? Then I had to remind myself, well, Nicole, how many dreams have you had, and, and you didn't see the details of a person's face, but you
Mhm.
felt their spirit or their persona. You just felt like, I know this entity. But
Yeah,
that was a part that
or
was
it's
creeping me
like,
out.
or even if you knew their face, but it's like, okay, how do I know them? It's like I know I don't know you, but there's something about you I know. The face is
Yes.
familiar or the environment, something about this is familiar. The house is familiar, but I know I've never lived here before. It's like, where have I been here? When, when have I been here, even though I don't know this place?
But did you
That type
pick
of
up
thing.
on did you pick up how their lives paralleled though? The fact that they were both married, they
Mm-hmm.
both had the one child,
One
and the
kid.
one child was a daughter.
Yep.
And how vastly different they were when it came to how they operated in their marriages and in relation to their children. It was
Mhm.
so bizarre. They were polar opposites,
Yep.
totally polar opposites.
Yep.
And that was a conflicting part for our main character because he was trying to figure out, was I ever violent? What
Yeah.
and that's the
And it
part he
hit
kept on
him.
honing in on. He was like, I don't remember being this kind or this type of person. His best friend had to keep telling him, you were never that. He's like,
He
well,
had
did I
to
step
say to
out on
Tom,
my
"You're a
wife?
punk." He
Yeah,
was like,
he's
"You're
like,
a
did I
punk."
step out on my wife? Was
Hmm.
what happened? He could not reconcile it because it
Right.
was so different for who he had been. And
Hmm.
there was a reason why for that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was somebody else there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really gets down. I mean, people can look at it and say, wow, this sounds like a split personality. Yeah, but no.
No.
Yeah, but no.
And
The,
that's what I was thinking too. I was
mhm.
thinking maybe at first I was thinking maybe he stepped out and this was his second family. Then it was like, for a hot second, it's like I entertained that. One thing about this movie, people, is that you're going to entertain a lot within a short period of time. You're going to
Yeah.
entertain the fact is that was he in a parallel universe and somehow they kind of got meshed. You're going to
Hmm.
entertain the fact, did he step out on his wife? And he had, or, and did he have like a, some type of second family? And then you're going to kind of, it's like when they switch fate, when the face is switched up in the memory, I'm like, who is this other person? That's the part that freaked me out because I'm like, who is
Oh,
that?
that freaked you out? That's the
You
part
know,
that freaked you weren't freaked out by the inverted body just
okay,
spidering all over the place?
ma'am, when that first happened, I almost turned off my television because I am about stuff like that. And I was like, what we not gonna do is be watching this in the evening, and I have to go to bed at night. I
Okay.
can't do that.
So the guy, what is his name? The guy that did that, his name is Tosin, and God forgive me for butchering the name. Um Morahanfola, Tosin Morahanfola. Years ago, he was on, I think, like America's Got Talent or one of those competition
Yeah,
shows and won the competition for doing just that, coming in and walking with his body inverted. And yeah,
contorted. Yeah,
he freaked everybody out, but he actually got one of his first acting gigs for doing that. And it's paid off because here we are now in 2020.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
do we really need that? But yeah,
It was,
I
he's got work.
yeah, he's got work. I'm glad he's employed, but I'm like, but did we really need? Did we really need that? I'm sorry.
Between that and the
I know
joint,
I
that
didn't need it.
crackling, that joint cracking. It was the joint cracking sound that was like, oh my God, make it stop. Make it stop.
That part.
Yeah.
And then you're not sure if it's a demon. That's the thing. It's like when it was doing all of that, I wasn't sure if it was an evil spirit or a demon. And then when it started fighting, I was like, that's a demon. So this
See,
wasn't quite
when
sure.
it stood up straight and started swinging, it's like, okay, Houston, we have a problem.
We have a whole problem
We
because
have
at
a
first it
problem.
won't. Yeah. But my thing is, why did it had to? It's like every time he hit a certain part of his memory, I was blown by the fact it kept coming at him the same way. That's the thing that there's like, I was like, that's why I made it seem like it was a dream sequence because it kept happening the same way. Everything was like occurring alike, and I was like, that's kind of bizarre. that nothing changed about it, except towards the end when he finally kind of figured out what was going on. The faces started to come in. And that's when I was like, oh, these are different people.
Yeah, when he finally recognized, okay, this isn't my life. But I was upset because at that point, it's like he kind of fought, but he didn't quite fight. And it's like, why aren't you fighting for your life? Why aren't you really fighting for your? This guy isn't stronger than you.
I
Fight.
think he was tired. I think that
Yeah.
when I towards the end when he kind of was like losing the fight, and the
Mm-hmm.
only thing that was kind of keeping him in there was that he could hear his daughter's voice on the
Mm-hmm.
outside saying things to him. I
Mm-hmm.
think that he was tired, and you have to be tired when you've been through an accident. You know that you had a wife, but you don't remember anything about her.
Right.
So you miss something that you don't remember why you miss it. you know, he in the very beginning, he had a very promising photography career, and he was pretty much told, hey, you don't have it anymore. You're not the same.
Right.
We can't utilize your work. So he had that going on.
He didn't have
Um,
anything to hold on to.
he didn't, and he was forgetting to pick her up. So then he had that pressure of, we got Karens out there talking about we won't call CPS.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna call you to find out where you are. We're not no level of understanding or care. But the next time
Right.
it happens, we're gonna call. Really? I mean,
It's always a Karen. Yeah.
so he had a lot going on at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that he was just like, you know what? If this thing's gonna take me out, then guess what? it,
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what was interesting, and we touched on this a little bit before the show. Thomas's reaction when his consciousness became physical again, and he saw his mom, and he was like, "Why am I here?"
but you know what's deep about that? She had more emotion about connecting with him than he did. It was almost like, I don't want this.
Right. He was like, "Send me back." He stopped shy of saying, put me back and get the dude that belongs in this body back in his spot." He
He
was
had more.
questioning the ethics.
He was questioning the ethics. He had no desire for what she did. He had no from start to finish. He had no appreciation for all that she
And
went.
and he asked, "What about his daughter? What about Nolan's daughter?" He had more concern for that other man's child, and she was like, "Don't worry about
That's
that."
not your child.
Yeah.
That's such a. But you know what? To me, I was looking for this movie to do, but it had been too fairy tale like.
Mhm.
I was looking for it to be on the lines that, okay, he came back. Don't give up this child. Go back to your family. Pretend to be somebody to meet this woman. Woo her. Now that's
Right.
more of the lifetime type thing. Woo her into marrying you, falling in love with you as a good kind person, the knight in shining armor that just came and knocked on my door. Bring the
Hmm.
daughter in, you know, happily ever after. No, his mom would not allow that. She fully wanted him to be
To
who
be
he was
himself again.
before. And I'm just like, wow, did you like not think this all the way out? It was like she did not process how many different pitfalls that was going to have had it
Like,
gone her way.
it's like, ma'am, do you not understand what your son was doing the first time that got him in the predicament that
Oh,
he.
she knew. She knew because remember she kept saying, she said at least twice I can remember, for
Hmm.
you to be the father. But you know what's interesting? She never said about him being a better husband.
No, but that's why I said it took me back to the conversation that we had about baby boy. Okay, because a mother will know exactly how bad her son is and still say, oh, you're going to make that situation over there better, or that woman will make you better, instead of saying you need to just improve and do better, period, for yourself. Skip about for anybody else. Do better for yourself.
And she wanted him to do better for her. She was disappointed in his father transfer because she made a comment about you're going to end up being forgotten like your father.
Right.
Real dismissive, like, wow, but you chose him, babe.
It
You
was
chose him.
right. It would, like you said, it was all about her. She just wanted her baby back. She just wanted her baby back.
And he did
That was
not want to be back. But why would you want to come back? When you think about, when you parse out his life, he's another one. And he did make a
mhm,
decision at the end to not, we're gonna leave that alone. We don't want to spoil
mhm,
it for people. He made a courageous decision that allowed this to go in a different direction. But why would you want to come back? You know, he was able to get a glimpse of what and who Nolan was. And
mhm,
he's looking at Nolan, his character, looking at how he dealt with his daughter, looking at how loving and well suited and settled all that was going on. Then, fast track to how he was living, mean, abusive. And that's what got him in the situation that put him in this situation for his mom to have to bring him back. We're going to leave that alone as to how it went down.
mhm.
Um, And it's just like, and then she was
And
so controlling. She controlled everything. You wouldn't even let me die in peace. You want.
hello, hello. And the thing is, there's something about walking into a space and seeing that you've been erased.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that there. Y'all gonna have to see what that's about. There's something about walking into a space and seeing that you've been erased, you know, and then standing there and seeing in this situation, your counterpart is laying there dying, and there are people who are fighting for him, really fighting for him, not just trying to pull him back and pull puppet strings, you know. So on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you say about this movie?
I would give it a 4. Um, I would give it a 4.
Okay. I think I'm in the same place. I mean, I think like you said, there's a spot where it could have been real lifetimey. And there are
Mm-hmm.
probably some ends where it was like, wait a minute, we could have done this a little bit differently and brought it home a different way and a little more realistically, a little more dramatically. But overall, I give it a 4. It raises some good questions about, okay, what if this were real science? And believe you me, somebody is out there experimenting with this.
And that's a question we need to pose to the audience, for those of you all that, follow us on Facebook, because we do have a platform where we discuss these movies that we're talking about now, and then other films and soundtracks are associated, and Black cinema overall and Black television. The question we'd like to present to you all is, if this could happen, would you want it for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And would you want it for anybody else? Because this is where I'm at with it. It's cute when the person was a good person. But one of these characters was not a good person. And the crazy part was, when he really showed up again, he proved that even being gone, being this little twilight zone that he was in for 2 years, because remember, this went on for 2 years,
Yeah.
his essence had not changed. So fundamentally, that's who he was, or who he is. So we'll try to present that for you all that watch us. Get up on our Facebook pages, Movies That Move Week. And definitely, if you're not a member, please answer the questions, because we will not accept your membership into our group. We have a really nice group, a really nice space where we can discuss these things. But I want to know what other people think, because like I said, it's cute until that person was a total, fill in the blank, when they were not a
No.
good person.
And even if you were a good person, I mean, would you want to linger? And if you do want to linger, how long do you want to linger? Because, I mean, do you want to body hop for like 2, 3 generations forever? I mean, how long do you want to linger?
Yeah, when is enough enough, and and that type of thing. It's a lot of different pieces, and then the reason why people would even want to bring you back is the why, because his mom, she wanted him to be the doctor he was meant to be, the doctor, like, because she was thinking about her image, like that's more fitting to be my son and not be forgotten like the father. I mean, who wants to come back for that? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
let me go. Just let
Yeah.
me go.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how I am. Yeah. Let me live it fully one time. If you're doing it right, once is enough. Once is enough. That's
What I would say is, the thing I got the most out of this is that ethics in medicine, yeah, that oath is serious, and that was brought up a few times.
mm-hmm.
And I think that the more we delve into more science, more understanding, you know, I think it gets a little gray because of the level of control you figure that you can have over things as someone. My next thing to take away is, be a good person. It's like, have people not glad that you're dead. Yeah, that you're gone. Have people not want to kill you. Have people not want you to disappear, wish you harm, because you're just that evil. So just leave a legacy of love and kindness. That people may want you back, but they're okay with letting you go. Be that person. That was my other takeaway too.
There you go. Nicole said it.
Because I would have killed him twice. That right there, let me tell you something. It would he would have found out today.
Okay. We would have
Mm,
repeated history, same way, same method. All right. It's like let's
exactly.
step out into the hallway.
The stairs await you.
They don't call
That
me the stairmaster for no reason.
that lower landing awaits you. I
Oh,
got away with it once. I
all
will get away with it again. Yeah, it's that serious. I'll kill you twice.
right. All right, folks. Well, make sure that you follow us on our platforms. You can find me at wordpress.com.
She pronounced it correctly.
Yeah, that's the way it's spelled. Swear to Big Bird. That's the way it's spelled. And you can find Don. He's not on with us today, but Don Miskel. Make sure you spell his last name right, Miskel, donmiskel.com. And see that lady right there? That's where you'll find her. Just type NicoleDeCandice.com and all her stuff pops up.
All
Okay?
of it. As long
All
as you get that last part right, that Candace is a beast.
right, right. That part. Okay. And again, like and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube pages. Again, don't forget, we're serious about those questions on Facebook. I've been swatting folks left and right all week
Yes,
because
it's
we
not a
take
game.
we take it seriously. We want people to come in and engage and have a good time in the group. We don't want any spammers, so make sure you answer those questions. Follow us on YouTube. Chat with us over there. We respond in both places. Okay, and until next time, we'll see you again on Movies and Movie. Bye.
Bye.